Hello, the internet. Matthew here. I am coming to you today with the first ever dual interview on this channel. And I'm speaking with the president and vice president of Hope Dealers Incorporated. I want to thank you guys for coming so very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you. And could you please introduce yourselves to the internet?
Hi, my name is Kadasia.
Hi, I'm Korey.
All right, and you are the president and vice president, respectively.
Yes.
Okay, so who wants to tell the wonderful internet folks exactly what Hope Dealers Inc. is?
All right, so what Hope Dealers Incorporated is, we're a non-for-profit that helps with struggling and recovering addiction and alcoholism. And what we do is we do interventions, consulting, support meetings, we get people into treatment, and just guidance, like when people need someone to talk to, when they feel like they don't have a place to turn, they need advice in certain situations. That's what we basically do. We extend our hand to anybody who needs it in that outlet of life,
Okay, all right. And Kadasia, could you tell us exactly where the name came from?
The name actually came from Korey. I was on his Instagram one day, and it said, I think it said Hope Dealer. It was like hashtag Hope Dealer. So then when I came up with the business idea, and I'm like, we were looking at names, and I'm like, Hope Dealer. I saw the hashtag on his Instagram, and he was like, that sounds like a great name. So I figured it would work, and
That's fantastic. No, that's good. It's a good play on words. It's really loud, and I think it really gets the point across. It was a mutual friend who introduced me to you guys. Showed me, she gave me your Instagram, and right away it caught with me. And I appreciate, as we were talking before, I really appreciate the fact that you open it up to anyone, struggling with addiction of any kind. Like I said, sometimes as a recovering alcoholic, I get from other people who've recovered from drugs, and we go, "You're not a real addict." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. That's very sweet."
Yeah, no.
So it's all encompassing. And exactly when did you guys get started?
I think around February, late February.
Oh, so this is really
really
new. Yeah. Well, I imagine there was a lot in the planning and the talking. Right.
Yeah, well,
kind of,
not really.
Really?
I just I was working my regular 9-to-5 job, and to be honest, I hated what I was doing. I was depressed a lot. I didn't find my purpose in life. And then even after I started my own cooking and catering business, I was like, even though this is something I love to do, it's not changing lives. It's not fulfilling my passion. It's not fulfilling me at the end of the day.
Okay.
And then when I thought about what was actually holding me back from being happy in life and moving forward in the future, being that my parents were addicts and one still is, I realized maybe one day I could change that. I could change the fact that someone was born into a family that maybe their mother or father was addicted to drugs, and then somehow I came into play, or Korey came into play, and we helped that person. So this way, they didn't have to be the daughter I was, because I was very depressed. I was always lonely. Well, I felt lonely, even though I wasn't lonely, because I had family.
Well, yeah.
And I always wondered why my mother wasn't in my life, and why she wasn't, the mother figure to me, and why did I have to look to someone else, like my aunt raised me? Why did I have to look to her? And then my father, I didn't really care too much, because he was a father, but mothers are always supposed to be in their child's lives. So I'm when I thought about what would actually truly make me happy, what truly would make me happy is making sure one less child goes without growing up without a mother in their lives. So that's what kind of inspired me to do this.
That's amazing, and I love the way you actually framed that. It was, I don't want somebody else to have the experiences I did, but I want to find my fulfillment, and I will find that fulfillment in serving others. And what's very interesting, especially in the kind of market that we have in this world today, people think either altruism or selfishness, and they don't realize that life is this dynamic flow, is this dynamic balance. And I think everything, the way you framed your story actually perfectly exemplifies that. That there's a bit of you and there's a bit of others in the purpose that you pay forward to the rest of the world. And I really have to commend you on that. I love that.
Thank you.
All right, your turn.
Well, I mean, just being in recovery for the past 2 years, you know.
Recovery from?
From heroin and crack, probably everything under the sun. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and
right. Yeah, please.
You know, yeah, just seeing how it affected so many people that I was around. You know, it's an epidemic, but once you start doing the drugs and you're around the people and you're in the rehabs and stuff, you start seeing people and you become friends with them, and you see, like, you know, you can relate because of the fact that they have the same problem as you, bless you. And, you know, you get close to these people and then you start losing them because a lot of people don't get, you know, they don't get what you get, you know what I mean? So it's different for everybody. Like, and I say everybody, like, you know, I don't really necessarily believe in luck, but I just didn't want to lose my life. So it was that point in time where I had to make a decision, and, you know, I owe a lot to my higher power and recognizing what I had to do, and I was definitely led through a brighter path by doing it. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. It's just the fact that I've seen too many people go and be lost to this addiction, you know, whether it's alcohol, heroin, crack, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, we extend our hands to everybody, and it's just the fact that I've gotten so close with some of these people and they see it coming from my aspect, seeing where I was 2 years ago, you know, so it's just living proof that it does work. And that's what I try to tell them, and I explain to them, you know, like, I show pictures, like, this is what I used to look like 2 years ago. Wow. This is what I was doing 2 years ago. Now look. And this is just going to meetings and taking advice and taking suggestions. My way of life wasn't working, so I had to take advice from somebody else, you know? And I'd be damned if I said that my way was working.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just crazy, but it's just the fact of the matter, you know, like, and that's why it's perfect that she was affected in a different way than I was affected. Yeah. So, you know, necessarily if somebody calls me and they're not in the addiction aspect and they went through it with their family from doing it, you know, then she can take care of that, and vice versa, you know what I mean? So it's perfect, because what better partner can you have when somebody's been through addiction the opposite way as you? Right. So, you know, even when we talk, and it's just like we ask each other for advice and stuff. So it's just like a beautiful thing. And what we do, you know, like, so we want everybody to know what we do isn't easy. You know, the phone stays on. We always have to be around. You know what I mean? I can't not answer text messages. You know, and like another big reason of why I'm doing this too, you know what I mean? Like, we have our shared reasons, just like she has her reason, I have my reason, but, like, you know, I lost a friend that I couldn't be there for, and it broke me. It still does every day, you know, there's nothing that I could do, but, you know, he reached out to me, he wanted me to be there for him, but in a different way, you know, he wanted me to hang out with him and do drugs with him, and I couldn't, and I didn't want to, and then the next day he passed away, you know, so it's just like, you know, I want to help as many people as I can, just so they don't have to do that, and so their parents don't have to go through that. Like, nobody should have to bury their son and daughter before. It should be the opposite way. They should be burying them. You know, so it's a crazy world out there, you know what I mean? It's not getting any better, but we're doing our best to make it better, you know, so.
And that's exactly, I mean, that's a lot of what I talk about as, you know, as Monster Health and Fitness, is that there is a lot to do, and it's nothing is going to get done if we keep wishing, if we keep hoping, if we keep putting it on somebody else. It's the day that you say, I will do this. And even if it's not big, I love the way you said, even if, you know, you think about not everybody, you think about that one person who's going to go through what you did, and you say, no, I don't want that one person to go through what I did. Yeah. And that becomes more people, right?
Yes. It's like, it was very hard for me, and I know it'll be hard for other people, because there was many times where, like, went on the school bus in first grade, I cried because my mom got into arguments with my family, and to be honest, I didn't even think I could do something like this. I didn't think I could, you know, speak in front of people, even speak in an interview so openly, because I was raised to be closed. So, it was hard for me because I was like I said, my mom is on drugs. I can't speak to anyone about it because then I'm afraid of being judged. But now I don't care. I know that other people have problems, and it's not just me that has problems. And whether it's my problem with my mom being a drug addict, or if it's my best friend's problem where she has a gambling habit or something like that. No matter what it is, we all have problems, and if we stick together and if we're there for one another, no matter who it is or what it is, no matter your culture, your age, you could get through it. And that's why I can so openly speak now. The first time I ever spoke was at our meeting, our first recovery meeting, and it was so hard for me. I was like choking up, I was tearing, and then after that I did it. I'm like, wow, I can really do this. I can talk to other people, I can help other people, and I don't have to be so closed, because everyone has problems, as I said before.
Yes.
And everyone's looking for someone to help them, whether they want the help or not. Everyone wants to be heard and to hear.
Yeah, I've often said, usually among friends, but screw it, I'll say it out here, is we're all fucked up. The best way to form a good relationship is to find someone who's fucked up, matches your fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a more polite way of saying it, but that's exactly how I phrase it. That just blunt way of just looking at it, I think, and for addicts and whatever stage, there's always that point where you're looking at the floor. I remember I only went to one AA meeting. I did most of my recovery. I built a network around myself, and I went to one meeting, and the woman was talking about how she used to wake up and check if she was going to get up to the bathroom at that point by how the lines in the floor were moving past each other, and everybody burst out laughing. It was in that moment I felt a little bit of that camaraderie and go, okay, so that is everyone, and it's that, and he's nodding, like you have these moments, and that's what, like you said, people have to realize there's a lot less judgment in it, because so many people have that same. It was the littlest thing that she said. And everyone in that room, there's like 300-400 people. It's like a packed house. And everyone had the exact same experience. Yeah, exactly. So do you find in your meetings that, let me phrase it this way, how do you find that sense of camaraderie building in the meetings?
It's amazing. It's like family in there, Like, especially when I go and I speak at these meetings, just like, you'll speak for 20 minutes and then people will give you their responses and how they feel. They'll give you feedback. Okay. And it's just like, a lot of the times I'll learn something and I'll be like, wow, and I'll open up to something because of what people share after I speak, and I'm like, wow, like, and I mentioned it in the meeting 2 weeks ago that I was speaking at. I was like, I'm most comfortable here. And it's crazy to say, like, I'm comfortable everywhere, but I'm comfortable there. Like, I could just let it out, and people are like, yeah, because I'm around a bunch of people with the same things, that they went through the same things as I did, So it's just like, they can relate so heavy, and then I can relate to them, and I'm like, wow, this is family. Like, you know what I mean? You find some of your best friends there. You find your biggest supporters, like, and it's crazy because people will come up to you and be like, yo, this is exactly what I went through. And some people's stories are different, but it's just, we were all doing fucked up, crazy shit. And now we're all doing what we can to get better. Right. So it's just like, you click with these people, and you're like, damn, and then you start doing activities with them, and you don't have to get high anymore. And it's just, and that's like why I try to recommend meetings for people. Like, I never believed in meetings. I was like, this is crazy. But you'll find your best friends there. You know what I mean? And I have a crazy support group, and we're just as crazy as we were. We just have morals now, you know what I mean? We just have morals now. We're not doing crazy stuff anymore.
And you're fully cognizant and fully aware of every single thing you're doing. You can feel it all.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's just like, we know what we're doing, you know what I mean? Sometimes we'll do crazy shit and laugh, but, it's just like, clear mind, we never overstep what we would have in the past. And it's just like great to be like, this person had a crazy history like I did, and now we're making a better future, and it's a great thing. That's
absolutely beautiful. And so now I just want to backtrack a little. You said before, this is my experience over these last 2 years. You said your anniversary just hit?
Yeah, Saturday, May 12th, 2016 was
congrats, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's crazy. I try not to keep track of time, but you do sometimes. Not gonna lie, but it was surprising. Like, waking up that day, and I was just like, wow. Like, the first year, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, but this time I was like, yo, I'm proud of myself. Like, shit. You know, because regular life still hits.
Right.
You know, regular life still hits.
You can't avoid it.
And I'm not going to lie and say, like, I haven't went through shit since being sober. Like, yeah, I have. But it's the fact that I don't have to go to sleep high and wake up and regret what I did.
Right.
It makes me feel that much better. So it's a great thing.
That's an absolutely beautiful thing. And so now your meetings are regular, like weekly?
Yeah, they're weekly. When we started them, we're just scrambling through the days. But now our meetings are going to be every Sunday, 3 to 4 p.m. at 350 East Main Street.
In
East Patchogue.
In East Patchogue. All right. So all the links, of course, all the Instagram, the Twitter, whatever you got, we're going to leave all that down in the description below. And now, you said you got an event coming up.
End 89 North in Patchogue, on the corner of North Ocean and Main Street, June 23rd. There's going to be a lot of people, recovering addicts and alcoholics, sharing their stories. There's going to be live vendors and live music there. So we want everybody to come out to that. Definitely, it's going to be a great day. And it's 12 to 5. So
okay, sounds fantastic. So now, so we talked about how we got started. We talked about where it's going at this point. So where would you like to take Hope Dealers? Let's say 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. I'm getting ambitious.
Okay. Well, we're trying to have as many people come to our meetings. So we definitely want to have a lot of people come to the meetings. And then we want to eventually travel and spread the word, and then also speak at different rehabs in different states and stuff like that. And ultimately the goal is to just help as many people as possible. So that is just, the ultimate goal. So hopefully with the few years to come, we help a lot of people, and then hope to see them grow with us and become a part of our team, tell them we're giving hope. Listen, they gave us hope, we can give you hope. Yeah. And we know you could do it, have a bigger support system for people and stuff like that.
All right, so let's say a year, kind of get your footing and figure out where you're doing around here. Then 5 years, the East Coast, and then 10 years take over the world?
Yeah, pretty much.
Listen, we're already talking to people from the UK,
really?
People that contact me from the UK, it's crazy. Yeah, once this thing started, it's crazy. People started posting us on their Instagram, especially my picture of the before and after. People were just going crazy about it. So I was just wow,
And it's great that you could be that raw and vulnerable.
I'm like Eddie Murphy in recovery. I keep it raw.
Even a lot of people from my childhood that I don't even speak too much, not because we had problems, just
this is life.
People are getting older and they're reaching out to me and saying I appreciate what you're doing. What you're doing is a really good thing, and that really means a lot to me because for me personally, I never thought I could be anything or do anything. You know what I mean? So it was always hard for me. So now when people telling me they appreciate what I'm doing and how I'm helping others, it helps me in my own life. And like he said before, even going to meetings, our meetings that we have, I learn a lot of things as well. So people don't just learn from us. I learn from them as well.
Yeah. And so that keeps that dynamic. Well, it keeps it dynamic, really. And everybody's always expressing. And I'm sure there are problems. I'm sure people have, disagreements. Some personalities may clash. But I get the feeling that you're always, because I know there are people who are going to be watching this going to say I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get in a fight right away. I know. The last 3 rehabs I was in. How would you? What would you say to that person who's just this is just going to be another one. It's going to be the same thing.
Listen, I dealt with that today. Somebody saying, I heard, I was doing my best to get somebody into a rehab, and they were giving me every excuse in the world, telling me, I heard that place is a horror place. So it's but what are you going there for?
Right.
What are you going there for? To get better. There's a success rate in every place as long as you do what you're supposed to do.
Personal responsibility?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Shit. You don't got to worry about who's friends with who. You got to worry about your recovery. That's the reason why we go to rehabs. That's the reason why we go to meetings. That's the reason why we go to support groups. Our recovery. Not I don't go there for hers and yours. I go there for mine first. It's selfish, but I have to be
that dynamic.
I want to live at the end of the day.
Yes.
This person's gonna not care about what's going to happen to me at the end of the day if they're just in there for shits and giggles, So I'm about myself first and then people who ask me for help.
Wow, you had that response in the chamber. Bam! I love it. So you guys are doing an amazing thing. I want to, again, thank you very much for this interview. So Make sure you follow them on all the links are going to be down in the description.
Yes.
And if there's anything else you guys want to say to the interwebs before we disembark,
you guys can visit our website at hopedealersinc.com. There you'll find all the links to our upcoming fundraisers, or if you'd like to volunteer with us
or donate.
And then it also has our weekly meetings, dates and times. It'll always be the same, like as I said before. Sundays, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. at 350 East Main Street in East Patchogue, New York. If you're struggling and recovering, there is hope. As he said, he's a living example. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till you end up in the hospital. Regretting what you've done, and then thinking there is no hope. But there is hope. And if you don't have family, we're your family. We're here for you, and we will always be.
All right, and your turn.
I mean, listen, there's nothing embarrassing about making a mistake. It's just how you recover from it. So, I got help because I reached out and I wanted it. Never be embarrassed to do that. It saved my life as it could save anybody else's. So that's what we do. And you should feel comfortable talking to at least one of us, if not somebody that you already have in your support system. But we're here for everyone. It's not just singled out people. It's not just people we know, because we talk to a bunch of different people that I have no idea who is whom. And when that call comes, I'm there. And so is she. That's just what we do. So
very much appreciated. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you for having us.
yes,
Thank you. So from Hope Dealers Inc. and Monster Health and Fitness, we're here to tell you, get out of your own way. Take care, everybody.